Thanks for watching,
just
and I'll
released
see you
an
in the
open
next
source image model that beats Flux 2, which is a 32 billion parameter model using 4 billion parameters. It generates images, it edits images, it's MIT licensed, and the weights are already out. And almost nobody has actually run it. The official repo has about 2,000 downloads. The Comfy UI port has almost 24,000, 12 times more, which tells you something. So I downloaded it, all 17.5 gigabytes, and I tried to install it the official way, exactly like the model card says, and I hit a wall that I don't think most people are going to get past. Then I found a way that actually works, and I got it running on this, a laptop 4060 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And along the way, it produced this 4 times in a row. No error message, no warning, exit code 0, just that. I'll show you exactly why that happens, because it's going to happen to you. I'm also going to show you the benchmark chart Microsoft put on the front page, and then the one further down the same page that tells a very different story. Let's get into it. Error compiling objects for extension. Failed building will for Flash ATTN. Now I dug into why, because it didn't compile is not a useful answer. And the actual reason is genuinely worth knowing. Look at the NVCC command line it generated. There's a -std equals C++20 in there, which comes from PyTorch. And then further along, there's a -std equals C++17, which comes from Flash Attention's own build script. And NVCC even warns you about it. Incompatible redefinition for option std. The last value of this option was used, the last one, so it compiles as C++17. And then it hits PyTorch's own header files, and PyTorch 2.13's headers use C++20 features. Designated initializers right here, default initializers on bit fields right here. C++17 can't parse those, so it dies inside PyTorch's own headers. So let me be really clear about what just happened, because this isn't a Windows problem and it isn't my machine being weird. Their requirements, file pins torch equals 2.13.0, and their readme tells you to install flash atn equals 2.8.3. Those two pins are incompatible with each other. Flash Attention 2.8.3 is older than Torch 2.13's C++20 headers. You cannot compile them together if you follow Microsoft's instructions exactly, with Microsoft's exact pinned versions on a machine that has everything it needs. It does not build, and on top of that, their own performance section says peak memory 18 to 20 gigabytes on an A100. So even if it had built, it wasn't going to run on my 8 gig card anyway. The model card mentions quantization nowhere. It mentions Comfy UI nowhere. So let's go find out what everyone else is actually doing. So I went and looked at what else is on Hugging Face, and this is the part that genuinely surprised me. Microsoft's official repo, 2007 downloads. The Comfy UI port, comfy.org/Mage-Flow, 23,897. 12 times more on a model that's been out for 8 days. And there's more. There's an FP8 version of the edit model with almost 4,000 downloads. There's a GGUF repo. There's NVFP4 quants. There are MLX ports for Mac. Now here's what makes this funny to me. I watched another video on this model, good channel. I'm not gonna name them. They do good work. And they said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm sure there'll be more quantized or compressed versions of this in the future. They already existed on the day the video went up, and they had 10 times the downloads of the official release. The int8 model, 4.16 gig, goes in models/diffusion_models. The text encoder, Qwen3VL, 8.88 gig, that goes in models/text_encoders. And the VAE 350 meg goes in models/VAE. 13.4 gigabytes total, which notice is less than the 17.5 you download from Microsoft, because the int8 model is half the size. Now start it. And I want to point out 2 lines in this startup log because they matter later. This one, total VRAM 8,188 megabytes. That's my card, 8 gigs. And this one, using RAM pressure cache Comfy UI. Notice I don't have much free system memory and changed its own strategy. I didn't tell it to do that. Open the browser, and here's the nice part. Go to templates, and Mage-Flow is already in here. 4 of them, text to image, turbo, edit, and edit turbo. And look at this, because this is my favorite detail in the entire video. Every single one of those official Comfy UI templates defaults to int 8, not BF16. int 8 isn't an optimization you go find, it's the assumed path. Comfy UI just quietly decided that's what people are going to run. Microsoft's model card doesn't mention int 8 anywhere. Now I need to tell you about how I wasted 40 minutes because you're going to do this exact thing. I didn't use the template the first time. I built the workflow myself by hand because I've used Comfy UI before and I thought I knew what the graph looks like. Load the model, load the text encoder, load the VAE, empty latent text encode, sampler, decode, save. That's the graph for basically every model. So I wired it up. Empty SD3 latent image, CLIP text encode, model sampling SD3 standard stuff. And I hit run. And it ran 14 seconds, no error, exit code 0, image saved. And this is what came out. So I thought, okay, bad seed, changed the prompt completely, changed the seed, ran it again. Same gray square, now they're not identical pixel for pixel, but look at the numbers. Average color, 152, 143, 137 on both. Standard deviation, 13.1 on both. Statistically, that is the same noise twice. And that's the clue, because if a completely different prompt and a completely different seed produce noise with the same average and the same spread, then the prompt was never reaching the model in the first place. Here's what was wrong, and it's not obvious. Most image models, Stable Diffusion, SD3, Flux, use a latent space with 16 channels downsampled 8 times. That's what empty SD3 latent image gives you. Mage-VA is not that. Mage-VA is 128 channels, downsampled 16 times. It's right there in the transformer config in channels 1 to 8, and it's in the architecture section too. They say it plainly. So I was handing the model a latent of completely the wrong shape, and instead of throwing an error, it just processed it and gave me noise. The fix is that Mage-Flow ships its own node. It's called Text Encode Mage-Flow Edit, and despite the name, it's used for plain text to image too. And it outputs 3 things, positive, negative, and the latent correctly shaped because it knows what shape it should be. And you also don't need model sampling SD3 at all. The sampler takes the model straight from the loader. So 2 nodes I added that shouldn't have been there, and 1 node I didn't know existed. Just use the template. That's the lesson. I know that's boring advice, but it would have saved me 40 minutes. And the failure mode here is silent, which is the worst. Okay, template loaded, correct nodes, 4 steps, CFG1. Let's actually generate something. I'm going to use a prompt with a few things in it that models usually struggle with. Skin texture, a specific light condition, and shallow depth of field. Vintage analog film photograph, close-up portrait of an older fisherman at golden hour, deep weathered skin texture, salt-crusted beard, shallow depth of field, warm grain. Hit run. Now while that's going, watch the terminal because this is the interesting part. Model Mage-Flow T model, prepared for dynamic VRAM loading, 8463 megabytes staged. That's the text encoder, 8.4 gigabytes, being streamed through a card that only has 8.5 gigabytes total, while also holding the model and the VAE. It shouldn't fit, and it does because Comfy UI is loading it in pieces and swapping them out as it goes. That's what dynamic VRAM loading means. And honestly, that's the real hero of this video. The model didn't get smaller, the memory manager got smarter. And there it is. 15.4 seconds, peak RAM, 8.06 gigabytes out of 8.59 available. That's 94% of my cart. And look at that image. The skin texture is genuinely good. You can see pores. The beard has salt crusted in it like I asked for. The depth of field falls off correctly. And it's put a film border on it because I said analog. 4 steps, 15 seconds on a laptop. Now I want to put a number next to that because Microsoft's own claim is not 0.59 seconds per image. So I'm about 26 times slower than their number. But their number is on an A100. That's a data center card that costs more than my entire laptop, roughly 20 times more. So 26 times slower on hardware, that's a 20th of the price. And it still hands me a finished image in 15 seconds. At least for me, that's a win. That's not a complaint. Right? So it works, it's fast enough, and the images are good. Now let's talk about the benchmarks because this is where I have a problem. Here's the number that's on the front page and the number every article about this model quoted. Genival 0.90, highest among open source models. Flux 2 Dev gets 0.87. And that's true. That is a completely true statement. Now scroll down to their own full benchmark table, the one behind the collapse section that says click to expand. There are 9 text-to-image benchmarks in here. Let's go through them. Genival, Mage-Flow wins, 0.90, great. DPG QN image 88.32, Mage-Flow 86.49, loses. TIIF short, Flux 2 Dev 88.82, Mage-Flow 82.19, loses, and not narrowly. TIF long, Flux 2 Dev again, loses. CVTG2K, Flux 2 Dev, loses. 1IG English, Flux 2 Dev, loses. 1IG Chinese, Quen image 0.548 against 0.505, loses. Long text English, Flux 2, Enjoy AI Thai at 0.963, loses. And long text Chinese, Joy AI 0.963, Quen image 0.946, Longcat 0.956, even Z image base, which is a 6 billion parameter model, gets 0.936. So who is this actually for? If you have an 8GB card like me, yes, this is one of the few genuinely current image models you can run properly, and 15 seconds for 1024 square is completely usable. Use the Comfy UI in 8 Turbo template. Don't go near the official install. If you have 12 or 16 gig, you've got more headroom, and you should probably run the 20-step RL version instead of Turbo for better quality. If you're mainly editing images rather than generating them, this is the strongest argument for the model, that gedit Chinese result is real and it's the best open source number on the board. If you're generating Chinese text, don't use this, use Quen image. The numbers are not close. Now the honest cons, and there are 4. 1. The official install path is effectively broken for normal people on Windows. It wants a compiler, a CUDA toolkit, and a specific torch index, and the model card presents that as routine. 2. It's a 4 billion parameter model that needs another 4 billion parameter model to run, 17.5 gigs official, 13.4 the community way, and nobody's front page says that. 3. The benchmark presentation is technically honest and practically misleading. 1 win out of 9, and the 1 is the headline. 4. It fails silently if you wire it wrong. No error, no warning, just gray squares. That's a design choice, and it's a bad one. And the thing that's actually impressive, which nobody's front page says either, the reason this runs on my laptop isn't Microsoft. It's Comfy UI's memory manager streaming an 8.4GB text encoder through an 8GB card and making it look easy. Would I use it for editing? Yes, genuinely. For general text to image, I'd still reach for something else most days, but it's MIT. It's 4 steps, it runs on hardware I already own, and it's 8 days old. That's a good release. It's just not quite the release. The front page is selling. That's Mage-Flow. Let me know in the comments, are you running this on 8 gig and what did you get for a generation time? And second, do you want me to do the editing model properly as its own video? Because that gedit result deserves a real test. Every link is in the description. The Microsoft repo, the Comfy UI port, the exact 3 files I downloaded, and the workflow JSON, so you can skip the gray squares entirely. If this was useful, subscribe. It genuinely helps.